What up everyone, it's your man XMan87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends wishlist video, and what I have for you today is my top 15 Marvel Legends villains wishlist that I want to see revealed at Pulsecon 2023. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's talk about it. You guys know how I do these wish lists. I only go off of characters that have never been made before in the Legends line, so you won't see any characters that need updates here, nor will you see any X-Men or Spider-Man related characters, as I already did my wish list for those. Though my number one is still Exodus, but he was in my X-Men villains wish list, even though I know he was also an Avengers villain too. I just never want my list to be repetitive and always aim to keep them fresh by spreading the love around across multiple mythos. I'm trying to keep the theme mainly Avengers, Fantastic Four, and others. There is one here that can fall into an X-Men character related wave, but also Avengers. Originally, it was going to be a top 10, but there's just way too many I want, and so therefore I changed it to 15. Also, it's strictly just comics, no MCU, Gamerverse, animation, none of that. Comics only. Anyways, just remember guys, this is my wish list. It's just for fun and engagement, and if I can see any one of these revealed, I'll be extremely happy. So without further ado, let's go! First, let's start off with an honorary mention, and I got Lady Hellbender. Ever since she appeared in Totally Awesome Hulk back in 2016 as its main antagonist, I really fell in love with her design created by Frank Cho. It's not until she appeared in the recent Guardians of the Galaxy video game as a villain that I realized I really want a figure of her. By the way, an incredible game. I highly recommend you play it. A figure that can also be a potential tier for a HasLab Fin Fang Foom, but if they are done with figures as tiers completely for HasLabs, then I'll have a fair chance in a retail offering. Introduce a large new female buck for the likes of She-Hulk, Titania, etc., and I'm game. Number 15, I have Monster of Badoon. I hope this is not a BAF and is a deluxe, because this would require army building. They are the greatest weapon created by the reptilian race of the Badoon. They have fought the likes of X-Men, Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, Silver Surfer, etc. Shout out to the homie Rectangular, who is the only other person I know other than myself to want a Monster of Badoon for Marvel Legends. So, let me tell you about Rectangular, man. That fucking guy. Let me tell you about that fucking guy is like the most grumpiest, friendliest person I've ever met in my life. I never knew such a combination existed. But yeah, he's such a good dude, man. So subscribe to his channel, give him a follow. When it comes to Marvel Legends rumors, he is on point. That is the main source you want to go to. So, but be sure to give him a subscribe to his channel. Number 14, Korvac. You heard of an anti-hero, but Korvac is known to be the first anti-villain. He's had so many different looks over the years. I'd go with the more iconic purple look. Easy one here, as they'll just need to do a translucent purple Vulcan body, or do what they should have done with the Fallen one and give him what's called a black chrome deco. But if they decide to do the one in the chassis, then I wouldn't mind that either, as they can put some of the Bonebreaker chassis parts to good use. I just really want a Michael Korvac figure at this point. Number 13, Manape. So this, I'm pretty sure, is the easy one, right? I mean, they already have the body mold laid out from Zemnu or Sasquatch, pretty much. Just add some new overlays. The only tricky thing that I'm not sure about is, well, the stereotypes surrounding the character with those underlying racial tones, which can be found sensitive to some, like the Mandarin, and understandably so. Yeah, a black man called Manape is abhorrent. The name is stupid. M'Baku sounds way better, and that's how I feel should be marketed on the box with the M'Baku name, not Manape. But here's what I'm trying to figure out as to why they haven't pulled the trigger on making one already. Is it the costume that's a problem, more so than the name Manape? We know where it can be deemed inappropriately racist, associating his skin color in an ape costume. But I've seen the character wear the costume in Avengers cartoons and even Lego video games, which Lego, we all know, is a family-friendly company. So if those mediums can do it, why can't Hasbro Marvel Legends do it? I mean, nothing gets more family-friendly than Lego. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, I just want a comic M'Baku figure in that costume because that's his definitive look in the comics and the character is just so badass. If Lego can do it, bro, we're talking about Lego. If Lego can do it, Hasbro can do it. We're talking about Lego, bruh. I really need this character so that my comic Black Panther can have his arch nemesis. Number 12, the Black Order. We need more badass teams to step up to the Avengers, and since we already have an MCU version, it's time we get them in comic book form. We can get new characters like Supergiant, and that would be awesome. Even if they can just show off one member at Pulsecon, I'll be excited as it's a start, and it'll keep me looking forward to more down the line. Number 11, By Beast. All I gotta say is that we need more Hulk villains. This needs to be an oversized deluxe since he towers over the Hulk, so scaling is extremely important here. This is one I can see a lot of collectors getting behind because there's just a lot of Hulk fans out there. I know a lot of them have been dying for a By Beast already in Legends. If the scaling and sculpt is done right, this will be highly praised throughout the community. Number 10, Whiplash. This is one Iron Man villain I want to see badly. He definitely needs two whips, a powered down and a powered up. A powered up one could then be reused for Senyaka in a future X-Men wave, so some shared parts can be beneficial for them. Now I just don't know which version I prefer. The classic one is what I'm more attached to, but attachment aside, design-wise, his modern look is more badass with all that armor. Number 9, Atlas. I hope they keep up with the pattern of releasing 12 plus inch oversized deluxe figures every year. 2022, we had the 13 inch Surtur, I believe it was 2022 or 2021. Then 2023, we got the 12 inch Super Adaptoid. For 2024, let's get a 12 plus inch Atlas to round out that 90s Thunderbolts team, which is a must complete team for me. Now with the HasLab Giant Man being marketed, Pulsecon 2023 can really build more hype for that campaign, because then if they focus on completing the Thunderbolts next year, we can have our Avengers versus Thunderbolts, which was so iconic, and have all the equivalent counterparts going up against each other to balance the battle out. Remember how they did the Marvel Legends 16 inch Sentinel with a 6 inch Wolverine figure? Imagine this, a 16 inch Atlas coming with a 6 inch Meteorite figure. They could then use that base body for other Goliath figures. That Sentinel pack was about $100, so something like that again would probably cost a little bit more. But price aside, I'm just saying it would be a great offer for classic 90s Thunderbolt fans. I'm dying to complete that team already. Number 8, Curse. Let's take a trip down to Asgard. How long until we have to wait to get the first ever comic Thor Bath wave? Not talking about the 2017 Thor wave that was mixed with comic and MCU. I'm talking about a full-blown all-comic Thor wave. Curse to me would be the ultimate bath for a Thor wave. This would require a lot of new tooling, so I expect a few blunders in the wave to make up for the cost of it, and that will be a sacrifice I'm willing to take for one. I would go with Surtur, but I don't see a comic Surtur being a bath in a Thor wave. I think he would either be a HasLab or a supersized deluxe. The design of the Curse character will automatically make him one of the best baths ever made. Not only that, but it'll expand our Thor mythos on our shelves. Number 7, Executioner. Let's stay in the realm of Asgard a little bit longer with another desirable Thor villain, and that's Executioner. This too has the potential to headline a comic Thor wave as a bath. Just because he's so damn massive, I can see him being as thick as the Caliban bath body. Not saying they should reuse that, not at all. Just going off of how bulky I can see him being. Another one that will require a lot of new tooling. His axe is an important accessory and a must. I wouldn't mind seeing a tiny bit of blood splatter on the axe, as they've added blood on a few figures in the past. If not a bath, then a deluxe 2-pack with an updated Enchantress. Also, most importantly to me, is team building. We need him if we are going to complete our Masters of Evil team. Number 6, Graviton. This has been in my most wanted list for a long time. Definitely prefer his more modern design over classic, and he would look badass aesthetically in figure form. The long beard and hair, the armor, the cape, All this has the calling to be a dope action figure, right? Let's hope Hasbro delivers. He's such a badass villain, and I would put him in my AIM shelf as he was affiliated with them because that display needs help on my shelf. But with them releasing Jelena Belova and Super Adaptoid this year, which was originally an AIM creation, the faction is coming along slowly but nicely. He would look like a boss in my AIM display. Number 5, Nebula. A comic Nebula in her classic long tights with long hair is one I must have for my collection. Sure, the cyborg head with the skimpier outfit would be cool too, but I wouldn't mind having the bald cyborg head as an alternate head for this one. I'm open to both, but prefer the long hair version for me. Especially since the Infinity Gauntlet story is so iconic, that Nebula is my definitive version of her. Give her some nice cybernetic limb attachments with a regular sized Infinity Gauntlet accessory and call it a day. Number 4, Mistress Death. Going from one Infinity Gauntlet tie-in to another, Thanos' main squeeze, or Deadpool's, since they both love to fight over her to win her love. This is one I can totally see coming in a Deadpool wave. I think the Hasbro Marvel Legends team already has something planned for a wave or two to revolve around that movie, and Deadpool makes them money. So it is possible that she can be one of the comic figures in the wave. But what is the best way to execute her in figure form? Number 1 for me is because she's in a cloak, she needs to have a soft goods cloak so that she's able to articulate and not be like a statue such as the horrible Marvel Select one. Give her swappable heads to display her human face or her skull head, swappable skeleton hands. I don't think they'll give us a full-on skeleton body, so I think they'll stick with her human form for a base body to make it easier. However they decide to approach her, Mistress Death is much needed in the line. She was teased by having her art in the back of the Thanos packaging, so any day now please. Number 3, Tenalier Tavan, the Collector. This is one of my most wanted for sure. I definitely want him in his more modern look from 2008 as he appeared in Cosmic Collision, because the classic one is just a boring design. I normally prefer classic over modern, so it's rare that I want a modern more, and this is one of those rare instances. His old one is just terrible looking and looks like my grandpa in pajamas. It's a hideous design, whereas the more modern one looks way more badass. I care about design with villains a lot because they need to have their looks taken seriously. And that classic one cannot be taken seriously, but this modern one, hell yeah, this dude looks like he'll collect your bones. This modern one was actually done for the Marvel Legends 4-inch line in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Collector's Vault multi-pack, which also featured Lockjaw. Fun fact, Bobby Vallo worked on that pack, so it just goes to show you that he knew what he was doing with choosing the right characters and what looks to go for. The one thing I'm looking forward to the most from a figure of the Collector is the photography potential of creating setups for his Collector's Vault. Something I had so much fun with shooting the MCU one, as I had the setups and the props to work with. One thing I love is having Marvel artifacts as accessories, so if he's packed in with Marvel artifacts, it would be cool if he includes like a Macron crystal or the casket of Ancient Winters. I think that would make for a really fun setup. So the Collector is a must-have for me. Number 2, the Beyonder. How in the hell do we not have a 6-inch figure of him, as he's one of Marvel's most iconic villains? With all the Secret Wars thematic figures they've been tackling, he should have been one of the first choices. They'll probably go with his white jumper-like suit, being that it's an easy mold for them to do with the Red Skull body. For me, I prefer the full armored look. Again, like the Collector, it comes down to design choice for me here. I do hope they make both versions of these at least. That way I can have an armored and non-armored look. I think out of all the villains I listed, this should be their number 1 priority to reveal. And at the top spot at number 1, the villain I want to see the most is Attuma. Talk about one of the most badass designs. A classic comic Attuma has always been very high on my most wanted list. With his stature, he can be a BAF, or a deluxe, or just a regular figure in the wave that will feel like he's a second BAF in the wave. I don't have any doubt that he'll be a standout bars in any wave he's in. I wonder what base body would best fit him. Omega Red maybe? Maybe if they do a Thicatuma? Oh, you know what? The Retro Hercules body I think would be great. Now, most of him will need to require new parts, such as, new legs with those scales, but the upper body should do. So yeah, Hercules' upper body, he'll just have some overlays. He's got to have his sword too. Perfect time to introduce a new pinless Namor to go with him too. If they decide to go with an all new sculpt from scratch, even better. I hope the gold will be painted metallic and not just plastic gold molding. Either way, I think he's going to make for an amazing figure, and I know I'm not alone in wanting this character in figure form. I used to have the vintage Toy Biz figure, actually I still have it, and it would be a nostalgic trip for me if he's back on that Fantastic Four retro card. Now I kick it back to you. What are your top 15 Marvel Legends villains wish list that you'd like to see revealed at Pulsecon 2023? How many did I mention here were on your wish list? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thank you for watching another wishlist video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace, peace.